He looked like the boy next door, quiet, polite, invisible. But behind that smile was something unimaginable. For over a decade, Jeffrey Dahmer hunted, lured, and killed, all while hiding in plain sight. This isn't just the story of a killer. This is a journey into the fractured mind of a man where loneliness met obsession and where evil wore a human face.
He wanted to create zombies, people that would be there for him. He would have...
At approximately 8:10 a.m., a correctional officer who entered the gymnasium with two inmates who were coming there to do recreation discovered Mr. Dahmer's body in the staff bathroom, sounded an alarm, and shortly thereafter, Mr. Anderson's body was discovered in the inmate shower area.
The second victim, convicted wife killer Jesse Anderson, was conscious but in critical condition. Dahmer died of massive head injuries on the way to the hospital without regaining consciousness.
You have just watched the documentary footage of Jeffrey Dahmer at his trial in August 1991. And to better illustrate the crimes of this sick murderer, let's delve into his crime process. You will know more clearly what a monster in the form of a human is like.
On July 22, 1991, the Milwaukee Police Department made a discovery so horrifying it would etch itself into criminal history forever. When officers entered apartment 213, they were unprepared for the nightmare that awaited them. The home of Jeffrey Dahmer, a seemingly quiet man who would soon be unmasked as one of America's most sadistic serial killers and a cannibal. They were led there by Tracy Edwards, Dahmer's would-be final victim, who had miraculously escaped from Dahmer's clutches. Edwards fled the apartment barefoot, with a handcuff dangling from his wrist, and flagged down officers. What he told them would lead to one of the most chilling crime scenes in U.S. history. According to the Los Angeles Times, Edwards, 32, told police that Dahmer had held him at knife point. When officers accompanied Edwards back to the apartment to retrieve the key to the handcuffs and question Dahmer, they also began a casual search, looking for the alleged weapon. What they uncovered was far more disturbing than any blade. Inside a slightly open dresser drawer, nearly 80 Polaroid photographs were discovered. Graphic, staged images of naked, dismembered corpses in various states of decay. The officers froze. These weren't trophies. They were cold, calculated documentation. One officer reportedly whispered, "These are real." In that moment, the nightmare began to unravel. Upon Dahmer's arrest, a full search of apartment 213 revealed a macabre collection of horrors: severed heads, bleached skulls, human organs stored neatly in a refrigerator, and a 57-gallon drum filled with acid used to dissolve flesh. Several police officers felt nauseous at the scene when they witnessed the horrific scene. Forensic examination later identified remains of at least 11 different victims. The crime scene photos taken inside the apartment at 924 North 25th Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, showcased a level of depravity few could comprehend. And the man behind it all? A quiet, well-mannered figure whose neighbors described him as charming, a monster hiding in plain sight. Pamela Bass, a former neighbor, recalled the stench from Dahmer's unit. She once helped him clean his apartment after the landlord threatened eviction due to the unbearable odor. "I went in to help him clean," she said. "He told me, 'It's the freezer. My grandma sent me some meat and I forgot to plug it in.' I had never smelled death before. I didn't know what it was, but he was a master of disguise. He really was." Sat eerily still. He once blamed the death of his tropical fish for the overwhelming stench emanating from the apartment. On the night of his arrest, Dahmer had invited Edwards over to drink beer and watch The Exorcist 3. But what started as a casual evening turned into a fight for survival. Bass recalled what happened after the police discovered the photos. The officer screamed, "Get him!" or something like that. The other officer ran into the hallway. I ran down the hall to stay out of the way. I remember thinking, I don't know what they found, but it must be bad. Dahmer confessed to eating parts of many of his victims. In a chilling 1993 interview with Inside Edition, he admitted, "I was branching out." That's when the cannibalism started, eating the heart, the bicep. It was a way of making them a part of me. At first, it was just curiosity. Then it became compulsive. Inside his kitchen, investigators found saws and dismemberment tools, instruments used to decapitate and disassemble bodies either for disposal or for preservation. Detective Patrick Kennedy, one of the lead investigators, later described the scene to Rover's Morning Glory. People throw around the word surreal, but this was truly surreal. When I looked inside the fridge, it was empty except for an open box of Arm & Hammer baking soda in the back. And in the center was a freshly severed human head. It was the head of a black male, eyes open, mouth agape, frozen in an expression of shock or maybe terror. I've been a cop for years and seen horrible things, but that, my whole body told me, you need to get out of here, now. Among the evidence, a barrel of acid stood ominously in the corner, a chemical tomb for dissolved remains. Months before his final arrest, police had already encountered Dahmer. In May 1991, they had found a 14-year-old boy wandering the street, drugged and semi-nude. Dahmer convinced the officers it was just a domestic dispute with his lover. The boy was returned to Dahmer's care. Later, Dahmer admitted, "After they left, I killed him. If they had searched the next room, they would have found a skull, frozen body parts, severed heads, and genitals preserved in acid." Regarding his obsessive photo documentation of the victims, Dahmer said, "If I couldn't keep them whole, at least I could keep their skeletons. I even planned to build a shrine with 10 skulls and full skeletons, each a memory." E. Michael McCann, the prosecutor during Dahmer's trial, later commented, "The shrine had no religious purpose. It was a monument to those he murdered. It showed a total absence of moral compass. He wasn't insane. He was evil."
Now that you've stepped inside the twisted mind of Jeffrey Dahmer, what do you think? Was he mentally disturbed or purely evil? What drives someone to commit such unspeakable acts? And most importantly, could there ever be another like him among us today? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Dahmer was a victim of his own mind or a predator with no soul? How did this video make you feel? Would you like to dive deeper into more cases like this? If you found this story disturbing yet fascinating, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. There's more darkness to uncover inside their minds.